Thank you, Tommy. I know my brothers say Billy and Bobby even now, so there's something endearing about having that kind of name. Next is John Rogers. You've heard him introduced a couple times. John was the Grenadier Band class of 1965 and now is a member of the Iredell Statesville Board of Education.
Before I get to start with my remarks, I'm going to read a letter from Johnny Sams, who was the drum major here in 1965. This is sort of ironic because people used to get the two of us confused. So I'm going to get to be Johnny Sams for about 30 seconds. When Jim Calabrese came to Statesville, his arrival was our first exposure to anyone who demanded no less than excellence from us every day. From the shared experience of working together toward a common goal, learning through teamwork and dedication, we could accomplish far more than music and marching. I, for one, benefited from his tutelage and guidance my entire life. John Sams, drum major, Grenadiers, 1965. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sort of playing double duty tonight. This evening is a very special occasion, and I count it an honor and a privilege just to be here, but also to make a few remarks about an individual who has contributed for good to the lives of countless young people in this community. I am one of those. Please allow me, as a member of the Iredell Statesville Board of Education, to extend my congratulations to Mr. Calabrese. We need to be reminded often of our past, which provides some indications of where we are, but also where we're going. I visit Statesville High School very often, and I find many of the same characteristics that were here years ago that made it a very special place. It's still the home of the Greyhounds and encompasses all those many ideals that molded so many of us for good. I pass this place almost on a daily basis, and I always feel a sense of love and pride knowing that I graduated from here and the influences it has played in my life since then. I remember a faculty the likes that will probably never be seen or assembled again. Two of those individuals are here this evening and are perfect examples of those who taught and inspired all of us during one of the most volatile and ever-changing periods of our history. We were the children of the 1960s. We endured war, assassinations, social upheaval, political unrest. Some days we felt that the world was coming apart, but yet 5 days a week we came to this place where we felt safe, a sense of stability, the purpose of continuity, and the feeling that no matter what happened in the larger world outside, that we were in an environment that fostered all those things that would make a better world, no matter where the current circumstances might have been. Please allow me a point of personal preference at this point. I know we're here to honor Mr. Calabrese, but I find it almost impossible to separate him and Bent Milner. This man is an individual that we also love and respect, and it seemed he was the glue that always held it together. However, when we found ourselves straying from good behavior and lack of genuine purpose, as one might put it, we were up to no good. We might have found ourselves coming unglued at the sight of what we used to refer to as the look. All we had to do was look at you, and you got the message to shape up. You might call it the side influence. James Calabrese arrived in Statesville during the summer of 1961, as Alan has said. I believe that only 17 or 18 students were signed up for band, and over the course of several months in an atmosphere of the Calabrese excitement, the number increased. I was one of the drum line that he always reminded that we drummers were an entity all unto ourselves. It was a year of one event after another as he worked his magic. He talked of new uniforms, the Greyhound Grenadier Guards in England, complete, of course, with the bearskin hat. A complete transformation took place. I remember the first time I put that Grenadier uniform on. I remember the first time we marched down Center Street lined with people on both sides who had looks of total surprise at what they saw. It was a new day, and a new sense of pride was taking hold. I remember the first time we marched on the field in the hall. I remember marching down Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. during the National Cherry Blossom Festival with just enough players, I think Mr. Calabrese told us, where we were eligible to participate. Several years later, I stood in a ballroom in a hotel in St. Petersburg, Florida, where we were awarded the Heart of St. Petersburg at the Festival of States in 1965. Where we represented the entire state of North Carolina. This was an outward transformation, but most importantly, the transformation was in the lives of each of us. Jim Calabrese taught us that we were somebody. He never actually told us that. We just sort of figured it out on our own. He taught us that we could do anything. All that we had to do was work hard and dream. All things were possible. I remember him standing on top of the old press box down in the hall, which could have been designated unfit for human occupancy, screaming to the top of his lungs, which could be heard under the clock at the square. But we always realized that all of that emotion was simply to make us the best we could be. It should be noted, all that Italian emotion, he respected each of us. He never embarrassed a single individual or called out a student individually. If we were doing a crummy job at the moment, it was all of us. The only reaction was, do it again. I can summarize James Calabrese like this. He was first and foremost a teacher. And a great teacher does not always dwell in the here and now. A great teacher is somewhere up in the realm of all of those possibilities. It was what was possible. It was not where we were, but where we were going. It was not about today, but oftentimes about tomorrow. It was not what we had done. It was what we were going to do. And magic was that he told us that, and we simply believed it. We took him at his word. We would have done anything. All he had to do was ask us. I don't mean to be crass, but the only way I can make this point is simply this. Had he told us to march through manure, we would have done it without question. And the only regret was that we would have to wash our spats again. There were no questions, no hesitation, no doubts, and no argument. It was just a simple, here it is, now do it. Learning sometimes transfers itself to other areas of our lives. We could play, march, and dazzle a crowd, but it was what we took away that was the most important. I graduated from Statesville, went to Appalachian State University, earned 3 degrees over a period of time, and spent the next 35 years in a classroom. And I want to say tonight, I'm going to get through this. Just hang on. James Calabrese was was always close by. I cannot count the number of times that I stood in a classroom teaching concepts or ideas, dealing with a student that was totally unlovable at the moment, working with difficult teachers, sitting in one meeting after another, making tough decisions, and yes, even on our Statesville Board of Education, I've made some tough calls. Oftentimes, I've thought about Mr. C at the same time. Now, that is not influence. I don't know what is. I was a grenadier for only a short period of time, but it was a life lesson that I took with me. I learned that you work hard, dream, and anything is possible. I learned that all of us need to love and to be loved and cared, respected, know that we are valued. I learned only early on in my teaching career that children want more than anything else just to be validated, to be recognized and know that they matter. Jim Calabrese did all that and more. I'm a better person. And most of all, I was a better teacher simply because I put on a band uniform and played the drums, often very badly. But being who he has taught me, but being who he was, he has taught me life lessons that I use even to this very day. He taught all of us that we mattered, and that oftentimes how we treat others is the most important responsibility that we have. I'm truly grateful for the life of Jim Calabrese, what he meant to so many. I taught over 8,000 students during my career, and in the final analysis, he touched their lives because he touched mine. His life has truly mattered to so many. Thanks, Mr. C.